meaningful activities on the strength of holy name. 8, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as the one of auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, karma kanda. 9, to instruct a faithful person about the glories of the name. 10, to not complete the faith in the chanting of holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instruction on this matter. It is an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against this offenses in order to achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank everyone for joining the Bhakti Sangha conference call today. Let us move to our next session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. May I know who all have joined this morning?
Hare Krishna, Aditi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinta Gandharvika Devidasi from Texas.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much for joining this morning, Mataji, and thank you for your services. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru and Gauranga, all glories to assembled devotees. This is Charu from Charlotte. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Charu Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Aditi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. And to all the assembled devotees, this is Megha from Naperville. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Megha. Please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every morning. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Aditi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Padmasakhi Devidasi from Tampa, Florida.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Devidasi. Please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you for joining, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. Yashomati from Chicago.
Hare Krishna, Yashomati Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Mataji, for joining every morning. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. I offer my obeisances to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Anand from West Bengal.
Hare Krishna, and Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much for joining every morning. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
I think Prabhuji has joined. Yeah. Is there anybody else who would like to?
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to all the devotees. Smita from Canada.
Hare Krishna, Sushmita Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj. Thank you for joining this morning, Mataji. Hare Krishna. I think Prabhuji has joined. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Samik Rishi Prabhuji in our midst today. And Prabhuji will be enlightening us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 6, verses 24 onwards. But before I hand over the call to Prabhuji, I would request Raj Prabhuji to give a brief introduction. Over to you, Raj Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam to you and all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru and Gauranga. Thank you, Mataji. Here is a brief introduction for our very dear speaker, His Grace Samik Rishi Prabhuji. Prabhuji is a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. Being a doctor by profession, Prabhu has done immense services to the devotee community and served the society by donating for lots of projects. For example, Prabhuji has donated the deities in Philadelphia temple, and he made 3,000 temple units that serves as altar in the villages. Prabhuji also served as temple president of ISKCON, New Jersey for 15 years. Prabhuji is known for his simplicity and humility. He's now also an initiating guru in ISKCON. That's a very brief introduction for our very dear speaker, Prabhuji. His Grace Samik Rishi Prabhuji. Over to you, Mataji.
Thank you, Raj Prabhuji, for that brief introduction. Hare Krishna, Samik Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Dandavat pranam to you. And all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for giving your valuable time in association this morning and enlightening us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. Please go ahead, Prabhuji, and I hand over the call to you.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak on Srimad Bhagavatam. Neither I'm simple nor, but anyway, whatever was introduced is fine. It's encouraging me. So we will read Srimad Bhagavatam, but before that, we will do some Mangalacharana. Om Agyantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Tadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamcha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sham He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Namo Mahavadannaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratushe Namah Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Krapa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaurabhavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nastaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shlokir Bhaktir Bhavati Nastiki Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. So it is Canto 6, Chapter 6, text number 24, almost to the end of the chapter. Practically, other than one, there is no purport. So the topic of today is the progeny of daughters of Daksha. So you all know who was Daksha Prajapati and what did he do. He had two incarnations that we know, two times his birth. First time he is a son of Brahmaji. So Brahmaji's son, he was made chief of all the Prajapatis. Prajapati means he was expert in progeny, producing more children. So his name of Daksha, and he became the chief of all the Prajapatis. So there was some yajna, and everybody, when he entered, everybody stood up and everybody respected him except Brahmaji and Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is his son-in-law. Brahmaji is the father. So naturally, son-in-law, but his Lord Shiva, he does not have to stand up for his father-in-law's respect. But then Daksha became very angry because he was not respected, and so much so that he was saying so many things ill about Lord Shiva, and I was foolish in giving my daughter to such a inauspicious person, and he lives in such and such place. He wears garlands of the snakes and skulls that he lives in such a filthy place, and crematoriums, and so why did I do that? And so he said so many things, but his Nandi, his gun, Nandi gun, he did not really appreciate all that, and he shouted back to Lord Shiva did not speak anything, not even in a word. He tolerated all these insults. But Nandi, I mean, some masters, spiritual masters or fathers or any devotees blaspheming should not be heard. And so he became, either you take a revenge and kill that person or go away from there. So their Pusha, so he broke the teeth of the Pusha, his demon son, and others, and the sacrifice was completely finished. And so Lord Shiva went back, and then he started another yajna. And then another yajna, he did not invite Lord Shiva, he invited so many other demigods and others came, and there was not even a seat or place for him. But Sati, being affectionate to her father and family members, she wanted to see, and everybody was nice, well decorated, went on their vahans to this yajna. So she went to the yajna, but the Lord Shiva sent all the ganas, all the assistants to that place. And so her mother and they embraced her, but father did not speak a single word. There was no honor to the daughter, and she was the youngest daughter, and usually youngest daughter are very, very dear to the parents. And she, wife of Lord Shiva, but he did not really do anything. So she said that he calls me Dakshayani, means a daughter of Lord Shiva sometime, and I should. So because it did not seem by Yogagni, and she killed herself, or she got burned alive, because there was no respect for Lord Shiva. And Dakshayani means a daughter of Daksha, and I don't want that name that I'm called by daughter of Daksha. So Lord Shiva, when he heard, he came, and then there was some a big giant person. He was produced, and then he finished all the yajna, and he killed, and he cut off the neck of Daksha Prajapati, and so much tumultuous problems, like not just sound, but so many problems were happened. And then so his body was lying there, and then Lord Brahma came, and Brahma pacified Lord Shiva, and then they said that if any head, first person that you meet, you put that head, and so he had to accept a goat's head. But later on, after he finished, then he came again as Daksha, another like Prachina Bari, 7 sons, Prachetas, and Prachetas Marisha, they married, and then Marichas, and 10 Prachetas and 1 wife. Then this Daksha was born out of their union. So now here is the Daksha. So now to progeny of daughters of Daksha, and Daksha was again, he's expert in producing children. So first he had 10,000 children, and then he had 1,000. Both groups of his sons were made into brahmacharis, and they left by Narad Muni, and Narad Muni became very, 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 very angry. So and then he cursed. Daksha Prajapati cursed Narad Muni that you can't stay at any place more than 3 days. Narad Muni had nothing to do. He does not stay anyway in more than 3 days. So these are the topics after that what happened. So text number 24. Punah prasadya tam soma kala lebhekshayeditaha shunu namani lokanam matranam shankarani cha अथ कश्यप पत्नीनां यत् प्रसूतम् इदं जगत् दितिर्दनुः काष्ठा अरिष्टासुरसायिला मुनिः क्रोधवशा ताम्रा सुरभिः सरमातिमिः तिमेर् यादो गणा आसन् स्वापदाः सरमासुताः. Translation and purpose. Thereafter the king of the moon pacified Prajapati Daksha. So there were, I think, 60 daughters were born to this Prajapati, and then who was married to whom, that's given in the previous verses. And so now this is after that. So these are the Kashyap Muni was given many daughters of this Daksha Prajapati, because with the sons he did not wanted to produce any more sons, because again they may be changed into brahmacharis. So he produced many daughters. So this is the description of the Daksha Prajapati's wives, and all the names are there. The king of the moon, Prajapati Daksha, without courageous words, and thus regained the portion of light he had lost during his disease. Nevertheless, he could not beget children. The moon loses its shining power during the dark fortnight, and in the bright fortnight it is manifested again. O King Parikshit, now please hear from me the names of Kashyap's wives, from whose wombs the population of the entire universe has come. They are the mothers of almost all the populations of the entire universe, and their names are very auspicious to hear. I read because their name is like it is very auspicious to hear. It purifies our heart, and we hear from them. They are the leaders of the society. So they are Aditi. Aditi is mother of all the demigods. Diti is all the Daityas, demons. Danu, Kastha, Arista, Surasa, Ila, Muni, Krodha Vasa, Tamara, Surabhi, Sarma, and Timi. From the womb of Timi, all the aquatics took birth, and from the womb of Sharma, the ferocious animals.
Prabhuji got dropped off.
Yes, Mataji. Okay. Hopefully Prabhu will join again soon. So let's chant meanwhile. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Prabhuji, you are muted.
Okay, so you can hear now, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So these names, we read this because they are our forefathers, progenitors, are the Gotra that comes from Kashyap Gotra. So, and how these are born, now people would not believe that lions can be born, or birds or aquatics could be born, or even the serpents or the Ajgar, and they could be born from a woman. But that happens, and we have to believe and we have to trust in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and how much services they were doing. And they were, most of them, they were devotees, and many names of Prabhupada and other gurus have given these names also to their disciples. So the text number 27, so animals were born from Sharma, and all the aquatics were born from the womb of the Timi, Timingala fish that came from this Timi, because all the fishes were born aquatics. So text number 27, Surabher Mahisha Gavo Ye Channe Krishapha Nrapa Tamraya Shena Gradhradya Mune Rapsa Rasam Ganaha. Translation: My dear King Parikshit, from the womb of Surabhi, the buffalo, cow, buffaloes were born also, cows and other animals with cloven hoofs took birth. From the womb of Tamra, the eagles, vultures, and other large birds of prey took birth. And from the womb of Muni, the angels took birth. Surabhi Ravi Palayantam. So Surabhi, that is the celestial cow, but buffaloes are also born from the womb of Surabhi, the buffalo cow. The buffaloes and cows are born, so they are like brother and they are both sisters, you may say. And Bhagavatam also says that Krishna's herd also, not just cows, but there are description of buffaloes are also were born, and Krishna was grazing them also, not just cows. He likes cows, and his name is Gopal, but he did, or at least there were buffaloes also. Radha Govinda Maharaj was telling it in one of the class. The next verse, Danda Shukadaya Sarpa Rajan Krodhavashatmajaha Ilaya Buruha Sarve Yatu Dhanasya Saurasaha. The sons of born of Krodhavasha were the serpents, known as Dandasuka. The serpents are very always remains in a angry mood. A little bit distressed and they will bite. As well as other serpents and the mosquitoes. Serpents and mosquitoes. They are also together from the same womb. All the various creepers and trees were born from the womb of Ila. The Rakshasas, bed spirits were born from the womb of Sursa. Text number 29 to 31. Arista yastu gandharvaha kosthaya dushapetaraha suta dano rekasha sasti stesham pradhanikan shunu द्विमूर्धा संवरो अरिष्टो हयग्रीवो विभावसुः अयोमुख शंकुशिरा स्वर्भानुः कपिलो रुणः पुलोमा वृषपर्वाच एकचक्रो नुतापनः धूम्रकेशो विरूपाक्षो विप्रचित्तिश्च दुर्जयः. The Gandharvas were born from the womb of Arista, and animals whose hoofs are not split, such as the horses, were born from the womb of Astha. O king, from the womb of Danu came 61 sons, of whom these 18 were very important. Means rather than 60, 18 are described here. Dvimurdha, Sambara, Arista, Hayagriva, Vibhavasu, Ayomukha, Sankushira, Swarbhanu, Kapila, Aruna, Puloma, Vrushaparva, Ekachakra, Anutapana, Dhumra Kesha, Virupaksha, Viprachitti, and Durjaya. What I plan to do is to read all these verses, then finish the topic. But then important ones, we will talk about their life history. It's nice to know, means you may know for many of them, but just to discuss again would be a nice revision. And it's like Maharaj Yayati and some others, they are progenitor for like Lord Krishna's Vanshaj, and so we will discuss about them. Text number 32. Swarbhano suprabham kanyam buaha namuchi kvila वृषपर्वणस्तु सर्मिष्टाम ययातिर नाहुसो बली. Text 33 to 36. Vaishwanar Sutab, translation of this. The daughters of the Swarbhanu, named Suprabha, was married by Namuchi. The daughter of Vrishaparva, named Sarmishtha, was given to the powerful king Yayati, the son of Nahush. Vaishwanar Sutayascha Chatastras चारुदर्शनाः उपदानवी हयशिरा पुलोमा कालका तथा उपदानवीं हिरण्याक्ष क्रतुर्हयशिरां नृप पुलोमां कालकां च द्वे विश्वानरसुते तुकः उपयेमेथ भगवान् कश्यपो ब्रह्मचोदितः पौलोमा कालकेयाश्च दानवा युद्धशालिनः तयोः षष्टिसहस्राणि यज्ञन्त्रास्ते पितुः पिता जघाना स्वर्गतो राजन् नेक इंद्र प्रियंकरः. Translation. Vaishwanar, the son of Danu, had 4 beautiful daughters named Upadanavi, Hayashira, Puloma, Kalaka, Hiranyaksha. Then Hiranyaksha married Udadanavi, and Kratu married Hayashira. Thereafter, at the request of Lord Brahma, Prajapati Kashyap married Puloma and Kalka, the other 2 daughters of Vaishwanar. From the wombs of these 2 wives of Kashyap came 60,000 sons, headed by Nivad Kavacha, who are known as the Pulomas and the Kalkeyas. They were physically very strong and expert in fighting, and their aim was to disturb the sacrifices performed by the great sages. My dear king, When your grandfather Arjun went to the heavenly planets, he alone killed all these demons, and thus King Indra became extremely affectionate towards him. Nivad Kavachas, and they were fighting with, and Arjun killed all of them. And there were and there were also so many 60. They were hanging down on a tree from the womb and Nivad Kavach. Okay. Kalakas, and anyway, text number 37. Viprachitti simikayam shatam chekamajijanat rahu jestam ketu shatam grahatvam ya upagataha. In his wife Simhika, Viprachitti begot 101 sons, of whom the eldest is Rahu, and the others are the 100 Ketus. So 100 Ketu. So there are, we say Rahu and Ketu. You all know that Rahu engulfs sun, moon, and also the sun. There is sun Grahan and moon Grahan. Moon is so, but there were Ketus. There were not just 1,000 Ketus. All of them attend positions in the influential planets. अथातः श्रूयतां वंशो योदितेरनुपूर्वशः यत्र नारायणो देवः स्वांशेनावातरद्विभुः विवश्वान् अर्यमा पूषा त्वस्थाय सविता भगः धाता विधाता वरुणो मित्र शत्रु उरुक्रमः. Urukrama, that is name Urukrama of Vamandev. And he had such a big giant step. Is also called Upendra. Urukrama, Upendra. Now please hear me as I describe the descendants of Aditi in chronological order. In this dynasty, the supreme personality of Godhead, Narayan, descended by his plenary expansion. The names of the sons of Aditi are as follows: Vivashwan, sun god, that is Vivashwan; Aryama, Pusha. Pusha's teeth were broken by Nandi, and Twasta, Savita, Bhaga, Dhata, Vidhata, Varuna, Mitra, Shatru, and Urukrama. Text number 40. Vivashvatah Shradhadevam Sangya Suyata Manum Mithunam Cha Mahabhaga Yamam Devam Yamim Tatha Shaiva Bhutath Badava Nasatyo Shushuve Bhuvi. Samgya, the wife of Vivashwan, Sangya, the wife of Vivashwan, the sun god, gave birth to the Manu, named Shraddha Deva. And the name, so Manu is a post. Manu, there are 14 Manus. In a day of Brahma, each lived is they rule for 72 Chaturyugas. In 72 times these Chaturyugas they go, and 72 times 14 is almost 1,000. So 1,000 Chaturyugi is a day of Brahma, and same is the night. So Manu is a post, and that Shraddha Deva, that is also. So sun god gave birth to Manu. His name was Shraddha Deva, and the same fortunate wife also gave birth to the twin Yamraj and the river Yamuna. So same wife of Vivashwan. So Yamuna and this Yamuna Devi and Yamraj, both are brother and sisters, and they were got from moon god. The father is moon, sun god. Then Yami, while wandering on the earth in the form of a mare, gave birth to the Ashwini Kumaras. So Yami, Vivashwan, so she, Manu named Shraddha Vivashwan. So there was another wife by the name Yami, and she was going on the form of a mare, gave birth to Ashwini Kumaras. So Ashwini Kumaras are also the sun god's children. Are Chhayasaneshwaram Lebhe Savarnim Chamanum Tatah Kanyam Chatapatim Yahweh Vabre Samvaranam Patim. Chhaya, another wife of the sun god, begot two sons named Saneshwar, so that is another wife of Chaya, and Savarni Manu. These two were Sunny Dev and Savarni Manu. They were born from Chaya, the wife of Sun God, and one daughter, Tapati, who married Samvarshan, Samvarana. Text number 42. From the womb of Matraka, the wife of Aryama, were born many learned scholars. Among them, Lord Brahma created the human species, which are endowed with an aptitude for self-examination. Self-examination means that they could understand that whether they are falling or what is happening. And so they were endowed that we can understand our Tattva Gyan, or our reality, that we can understand. These lower animals and demons, they cannot understand who they are and what is their relationship with Krishna, why they are there. But if one wants, then he can know all these things. Text number 43. Pushanapatya pistado bhagnadanto abhavat pura yoso dakshaya kupitam jahasa vivrata dvijaha. Pusha had no sons. When Lord Shiva was angry at Daksha, Pusha had laughed at Lord Shiva and shown his teeth. Therefore, he lost his teeth and had to live by eating only ground flour. Pusha, demonic person. He was associating with Daksha and also he became demonic. And Lord Shiva's Ganas, they broke his teeth. He was laughing at Lord Shiva. So one should be very careful in speaking, laughing, showing your faces or some your bodily features should not show to anybody. One should not be really putting their hands on the over one or above. Whenever you are, one should stand in a proper way and should show respect and should not show anger, mood, or face. And so they are really bad signs, and one should be perfect gentleman and should learn by associating with similar kind of people who are very advanced in Krishna consciousness. One may say that should he become angry on somebody who is doing wrong. Yes, you can become angry, but not to disturb him or not to, but to whatever that, like you don't say if somebody is sick. So sickness, yes, you remove the sickness, but not on that person who is sick. Don't show your angry mood on them, because it is by his some previous time or whatever has happened, but you try to be compassionate on all this. Text number 44. Tvastur Daityatmaja Bharya Rachana Nama Kanyaka Sanniveshastayor Jagye Vishwarupancha Viryavan. Rachna, the daughter of the Daityas, became the, many people have this name Rachna, became the wife of Prajapati Tvasta. By his seminar, he begot her womb two very powerful sons named Sanishwarya and Vishwarupa. Sannivesha and Vishwarupa. And I think this text number 45 is the last. Tam Vabrive Suragana Swastriyam Dvishatamapi Vimatena Parityakta Gurunangi Rasenayat. Although Vishwarupa was the son of the daughter of their eternal enemies and demons. And so Vishwarupa became the priest, and Vishwarupa, his mother was from the demonic side. The demigods accepted him as their priest in accordance with the order of Brahma when they were abandoned by their spiritual master Brahaspati, whom they had disrespected. So Brahaspati was disrespected by Indra. Indra was in his sabha, and then so much dance and singing, and so many Gandharvas were singing the glories of Indra, and he was drinking somras and enjoying. And then Brahaspati came as their guru of all the demigods, but they did not pay attention, they did not stand up, they did not pay respect to him, and he left right away. When this happened, he did not sit there, but because of his disrespect, he became very weak, his position was gone, and then demons, they saw the opportunity, and they all the demigods had to go. So he was hiding somewhere. This Indra in some water, and where there was some grass was growing, and he was hiding in some another form of a bird or something that he was hiding, or a goat, or so. Anyway, this then later on Vraspati, at that time Indra was not, nobody was there, but so Arajakta, without any king was there. So Nahus had to become the king at that time. So we will read little bit about or discuss about the life of others, what has exactly happened, and what out of this so many that we talked about. So, so King Nahush has been discussed. He was very dharmista, yashashvi, dani, means he was donating a lot of things. So after Indra was like killed, Amratrasur was killed, then he became, he was affected by Brahmahatya. 4 kinds like that he gave this Brahmahatya later on, but because he killed Vratrasur, who was a Brahmin, and so no king, and then so demigods, they put Nahush on the post of Indra, and they give him his their all the teja or all their power, and then nobody was equal to him at that time. So he became the king of like Indra's post was given to him. Whoever comes in front of him, his teja was taken away, and he became that way very, very powerful. So he was given the post of Indra, and his Abhishek, he was given the special bathing. So when he saw, one day he saw Indrani, Sachi Devi, wife of Indra. He saw, then he gave that she should, he ordered, because he was the king, he ordered that Sachi come to my palace. So Sachi Devi became very afraid, and she went to Vraspati in under shelter. And Vraspati said that we will find your husband and everything would be all right. Do not be afraid by him. He cannot do anything. And then, in meanwhile, so many demigods and rishis, they tried to persuade Nahush not to do this, but he was Kamandha. Once you decide and then you don't see what is up, down, what will happen, do not see. So before any who has such, they should immediately that time curb their tendency, means control the mind, that you control. But later on, it is very difficult. Nahus was taught by many brahmarshis, rajarshis, demigods that don't do this. This is not proper. You will lose your position. Not only lose, but so many times. But no, he did not understand. So then again, Vraspati said that ask him to give certain time, and then let him come to you by in a palkin, by which has been carried by some big rishis. So Indrani found out the Indra, and she said that please protect me for my Patibra Dharma. And so he said that you just tell him to come with in this way. Rishi Shorogi Divya Savari, that all the rishis who are the topmost rishis, ask them to come, and this is a special right that you will have. And then so tell him that you will accept him in when he comes like that. So she told that that you come like this. So that is a new kind who like people have some ordinary people to just carry on. But now she's making the his palkin carried by this rishis, brahmarshis. But because whoever used to come before him, then his all the tej, his all the power was taken away by Nahush, because he was given that boon. So Vraspati, he started yagya to find Indra, and also that Nahushas lose his power, what to do. So now he's carrying the palkin, and Rishigan, they become very tired. And then he was telling them, Sarpa, Sarpa, means go fast, go fast. So he was commanding on these rishis like as if they were the horses. And they told that there has to be certain maryada. What you are doing is completely against the scriptural injunction. And then, so don't do this. But he became more in Krodha. So become very, very angry. And so in his anger mood, he hit his foot to Agastya Muni. And then Agastya Muni immediately he cursed them that you are adharmi, you left behind whatever the rules and regulation, and you are kicking me like I'm your horse. And so he hit on his head, not only on the body or anywhere else, but on the head. So he said that you fall down on the earth or 10,000 years as a Ajgar, because you're python. So you become a python. So now he's all the calm that he got finished. It came down, and he fell down at his lotus feet of Agastya Muni, that please at least give me time period, how long I have to be and how I would be relieved from this body. So he said that if you give the answers, if somebody, you ask the question, and if somebody could answer your things properly, then your shop will be finished. You will be free from your Ajgar body or python body. So after that, Nahush fell down, becoming a python on the earth. This was all happening in the Swargalok. So in Swargalok also there are problems. So when Pandavas, they lost their place in the because of this Dut Krida, so they were in the Dvait one, and then Bhimsen was caught by this python, and then Mahabali Bhimsen could not get relief from this python. Then Maharaj Yudhishthir, he reached there, and he also asked, please give up my brother. And so he was so powerful, but he could not even kill this python. He was so powerful. And then he said that how you will leave it? He said that I will ask you some questions, and then I will, if you answer properly, I will give your brother to you. So Yudhishthira Maharaj, so that Ajgar is saying, this python is asking, this is from Mahabharata. Brahmana ko bhaved rajan vedyam kimcha Yudhishthira. Bravi yati iti tvam ivakir anumi hate. Who is Brahman? That was his first question. And what is the another question was, what is the tattva, truth to be known? So Yudhishthira said that Nagaraj, the person who has truthfulness, is charitable, kshama, he forgives, sushilta, kaurya, bhav, means not kaurya, tapasya, and daya. Whoever has this is called a Brahman. Then what is the yoga? What has to be known? What is the tattva? That one should know that. Then he said that Parabrahma, that Parabrahma is the one, means Krishna. He did not say the name Krishna, but Parabrahma is the one that one should know, who is beyond happiness and distress. And then by knowing him, you are free from all kinds of material problems. So this python said that Yudhishthir, you know everything properly, and I heard your answers, and this has become a very good time period for me, because I would be free from this Ajgar body, python body. So he left, and went back to heavenly planet. So this is about King Nahush, was also described here. And Yayati, you all know that Yayati is son of Nahush. And so one time this Vrasha Parva is also name given in the that we are reading. So his Kanya, his daughter, was Sarmishta, and he was a demon, Daityaraj Vrasha Parva, and he is the Shukracharya's, like his guru was Shukracharya, and Shukracharya has a daughter, Devyani. Then they were very close friends. One is a king, one is the guru of all the demons. So they were taking bath in a sarovar in a river and enjoying there along with their so many thousands of assistants. And so Shiva and Parvati, they came on that way. So everybody put on their clothing, but in the rush, Sharmishta, that is the Vrashparava's daughter, put on the clothing of Devyani. Then Devyani became very, very angry. Aag bagla ho gayi. She told so many things to Sharmishta. And then Sharmishta, she's a Kshatrani anyway, Kshatriya's daughter, because Devyani had a Brahmanatva. She had a garva unko jo tha, that was that I'm a guru's daughter, and Sharmishta was a daughter of a king. So this Sharmishta became very angry and she threw her to Devyani in a well. And then she put, because each other they put on this, Sharmishta put on the clothes of Devyani. And Devyani became angry. She was telling him, and Sharmishta became angry and Sharmishta pushed Devyani in the well. So Maharaj Yayati, he was very thirsty. He was going on hunting in the forest. Then he went to that well that, okay, maybe I will be able to get some water. And this Devyani was naked. So he threw his uttari, his clothing on her, and he put his hand down and caught hold of Devyani, and she came out. Then because in those days, even if you touch by hand, then she cannot marry anybody else. So she told that you have cut all my hand, and now nobody else should catch this hand, whether in marriage or whatever it is. But she was a Brahman Kanya, and Yayati, naturally he was a Kshatriya. So he said, no, I cannot marry you. You are from a higher caste. That is a Vilom marriage. And so she said that Veerashrestha, Vrahaspati's son, Kach, came to learn Mrata Sanjeevani Vidya. Means somebody who died, then he can. Only Shukracharya knew this. Vrahaspati did not know that. So Vrahaspati sent his son, Kach, to learn this. And then he was, because they were living together in the same house, and saying the gurus used to have very few disciples, not so many, and they used to live in the house of, just like Krishna went, Ujjain. And so it's just very few disciples were there, and they were training them personally. So when Kach, the son of Vrahaspati, wanted to go home, then she said that I fell in love, please get me married, get married to me. But he said that no, I came, you are like my sister, and I came, your father is my guru, and I cannot marry you. And she said that whatever you learn, you forget all that. Then Kach also gave her the shrap that you would not be able to marry to any Brahman. In this way, she told this to Yayati, and Yayati understood, and they both got married. And so anyway, you know that story that later on, because the king was there, and Devyani asked that so many servants of Sarmishta, and Sarmishta should also serve me as a servant. So she was serving, but because she was a king's daughter, and he married her also, and then there were children. Devyani went to her father, and her father cursed that you became very old. But then he paid obeisances, and he requested that please, your own daughter would not be able to enjoy with me. So he said that okay, if anybody can take your old age, then you will become young again. So for 1,000 years, he went to different, his sons. Devyani had Yadu, Turvasu, and then this two sons. And then Sarmishta had three sons, Druhu, Yadu, Druhu or Anukripita. So there, anyway, one Puru was there, the youngest son of Sarmishta. He said that I will take your old age because the father is asking. It is the duty of the son to fulfill his desires. So far, that the youngest son Puru, he took that old age and he was enjoying Devyani for almost 1,000 years. Then he was tired of that. And then there was a story of a goat and she-goat, and so then they understood that it is like pouring petrol or ghee on the fire, and it will burn more and more. So you cannot, even after this, that bhog vasana capacity to enjoy is not possible, and one is never satisfied by this. Even in Srimad Bhagavatam, najatu kamanam upabhogena samyatim iha visha Krishna vartneva bhuya eva abhivardhate. That whatever is there on the earth, whether it is a grains or gold or animals or all the women's, any whatever it is, but it cannot satisfy one person who is very, very lusted. It cannot lusty, and even if he enjoys that, he cannot be satisfied. One want to do all these things to enjoy, but he cannot enjoy. That Tulsidas is also bujhe na kama agni tulasi kahu vishay bhog bahu ke. So Puru got his back, but then Brahmana said that, and then he became the king. And then they told to this Yayati, how you are giving it should be the eldest son, Yadu, should become the king. But he said that any children who is against the father and who does not listen, he is not a son. And that way, one who is obeying to mother and father is the real son. And so Shukracharya also said that whoever is following you, he should become the king. So then Puru became the king, Puruvansh. So then later on he went. So this is about the Yayati, and we discussed about Nahush Maharaj also, and Yayati, and how. So I will tell you about few others. Daksha ji, we talked about Daksha, how he got a second body and became the son. And this Kashyap Muni is being described. Kashyap had lot of so many wives and so many children were born. Even the lions and reptiles and Sarpa, and so. But two men are Diti and Aditi. Aditi had all the mother of the demigods, and then Adityas. Aditya means all the children, demigods. And Daityas. Daityas they are all the brothers, same father. Daityas are all the demons. Then there is Kadru and Vinita. So Kadru gave birth to all the Nagas. And Vinita gave birth to two. One is Garudji, and another was born Arun. Arun is the Sarthi of sun god. He was going on the sun. So that is, there are two sons by Vinita. And there is a lot of stories about them. Anyway, so Kashyap is the son of Marichi. And then he was the son-in-law of Daksha Prajapati. And then so much Daityas, Danavas, Masu, Pashus and birds and everyone, they were all were born from this Kashyap Muni. And then also Vamandev. So Kashyap got the position like by that his son, he became the father of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In one kalpa, another kalpa, he became the same Kashyap became Dashrath and Kaushalya, where Lord Ram was born. Kashyapa Aditi Mahatapa Kinna Tina Kame Puravardinna. So one time King Anga, because there was a Prithvi Devi, she went down to the near the Patal Lok. She went below the Patal Lok. See, like there is 7 planets, 6 planets are below, 7 planets are above, 14 planetary system. Tal, Atal, Vital, Sutal, Talatal, or Patal. And beyond the Patal, there is all the Yamaraja's place is there. So many Narkas are there, and also there is. It goes all the way down. It's just like a whole universe is like a egg shape, and then half of the egg shape is filled with the water by the perspiration of Garbhodaksha Vishnu, and he lies down. He lies down beyond the Patal, long distance beyond the Patal, and so this Earth planet went all the way below the Patal, and then Hiranyaksh was playing in that, and then this is not Vamandev, this the incarnation of Godhead, Sukara Rupa, he came, and then he lifted it up. So in between, how it would have gone all the way down, but then Kashyap Muni holded the earth by his tapa. And so he's a very devoted, but also he became attracted, not attracted, he took the his wife Diti at evening time when Lord Shiva's chariot is going on. She became very much lusty, and she caught hold of the dhoti of Kashyap Muni that I want a son now. And then he told her, don't do this. But anyway, they went, and then these 2 demons were in her home, twins, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. And she holded them. Then when Kashyap Muni said that now you will born, that they will create a havoc in the universe. So she was keeping in her home for 1,000 years. But ultimately she had to give birth. So Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha were born of this Diti. There are Ashtakul Nag, so many Sarpas. They were also born from Diti, and means this Kadru. And so 8 Sarpas are very special. They are called Ashtakul Nagas, and they remain. Sheshji was also born, Ananta Shesh, and then he has so many thousands of hoods, and he gives like always like glorifies the Supreme Lord all the time by his, but still he cannot Shesha, Mahesha, Ganesha, Suresha, Gai, Nirantara Gave. So they are singing the glories. He cannot finish the glories of the Supreme Lord. But Tahi Ahir ki Choriya Chachiya Barit Chachape Nachana Chaya. But these Ahir, daughters of the milkman, they make Krishna dance for just a little buttermilk, because Krishna is attracted by just a loving devotion, by sacrificing everything, and they sacrifice everything. So all the time they are always thinking of the Krishnas and always ready to serve him. Kadru, so they are the daughters, this Kadru's sons, all these Ashtakul, Ashtanag. And but Tamoguni, his mother was very in mode of ignorance. But all the Ashtanag were following their father, Kashyap Muni. And their mind was on Krishna, and that's why they could pray to the Supreme Lord and glorify the Supreme Lord. So within even one kshan, how much our mind just goes here and there. So how they could do? So then they were praying to the Supreme Lord, and because of that tamogun, Sarpa is normally in mode of ignorance, but because of their prayers, they become transcendental, and they were serving the Supreme Lord. Mani binu, fani jimi, jala binu meena, mama jivan timi, tumai adhina. This is the Tulsidas is saying the काम ही नारी प्यारी जिमी, लोभ ही प्रिय जिमी दाम, तिमी रघुनाथ निरंतर, बसो हृदय Shri Ram. Just like there is a money, there is a jewel on the Nagas, and so they can give up their life for that. It becomes shiny, and they become very easily become target for prey. And but anyway, they will go and to search their money if somebody is taking that. And then lobhi prijimidam, the lobi, the one who is very greedy, is always looking wherever there is penny, and then they will be penny pinchers. And the kami, there is always looking, hunting for the women where I could get. So if the same thing could be applied to Lord Ram, then their life is successful. Kamai nari pyari jimi, lobhai prijimi dham, timi raghunatha nirantara, basav hruday Shri Ram. So that Sarpa has so many disadvantages, but two qualities are there, and that is Nistha, Neha Nistha Bhagavad Charana, that they are putting on their mind on Krishna and always they are chanting the glories. If we could also put our mind on Krishna and chanting the glories of the Lord, that is our life would be successful. So I will end here. We talked about few different personalities who are described in these verses, although there is no purport in any one of these, but it's a good to talk about this spiritually in elevated personalities, and by reading them, by talking about them, and by discussing about them and remembering them, we could all the kalush, our darkness that is on our heart or on our soul, that has been that have been carrying out by thousands and thousands of years of association with the material world, then they could be washed away by chanting, by remembering these devotees, by serving them, by talking about them, by bringing Krishna's children back to Krishna's lotus feet. They are all very, very helpful. So thank you so much. If there is any further discussion, comments, questions, we can discuss.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the wonderful class today and enlightening us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhuji, you have time for question answers?
Yeah, anybody.
Correct. Devotees, please unmute yourself and you can go ahead with your questions.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dharu Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, very nice, very detailed. It's a very complex subject also to remember and to describe what you just said. But yeah, thank you, Maharaj. Dharu Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Anybody else has any realization or questions? Please go ahead, unmute yourselves.
Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Hare
Valima.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah, Dandavat Pranam. Yeah, very, very wonderful class, Prabhuji. You gave in detail all the information about the demons and also this suras and asuras and how they are born. Mainly in Nagas itself, with the same mother, how they are having different thoughts because some of them are like their father, right? You said there are 8 Nagas?
Yeah, Ashtanaga. Famous.
Ashtanagas. Okay. Right. So we know about Ananta and one more, right? So what are the Ashtanagas, Prabhuji? Can you say the names of Ashtanagas?
Shesh is there. Let me see if
okay.
I could find that Ashtanagas description. What one that the churning rod. So that was also
Vasuki.
They are Vasuki from Dwarka also. Ila Patraji, Anantam Sheshji, Anantakirti, and then Vasuki now. Vasuki was that his rope was made by churning this. So Vasuki is another one. Karkotak, Takshak. So Takshak is the one who came and bit our Parikshit Maharaj.
Karkotaka. Okay. Karkotaka is the one who bet
No, Takshak.
the king.
Parikshit Maharaj
Another king is there. Yeah, yeah. Nala Maharaj. Who bet Nala
Ashukambal,
Maharaj?
Vasuki, Ajit. Huh?
The serpent who bet Nala Maharaj, that is Takshak.
No, Nal Maharaj is Karkotak. Takshak bet to Parikshit Maharaj.
Oh, yeah. Parikshit. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Padma, Shanku, these are different names.
Takshaka, Karkotaka.
So what? Anshu Kambal, Vasuki, Ajit, Agamokta, Urag, Astapulna, Dwarpal. So anyway.
Urag, right?
Urag means a serp also, but Urag is also one name of the Astapul.
Okay. What is the special of this Uraga?
Not that I know of that.
Okay, because I heard the name. Okay, because Lord Vishnu is also known as Uraga Sayana.
Yeah, Urag means one who walks on the stomach, like on the front part. That is how they walk. Okay. So Urag Sayana means it is correct that he sleeps on the personality who walks on the chest and belly. छाती के बल पर गमन करने वाला उरग. So all the snakes would be called urag. Okay. Most of them. Ilapatra ji is another snake, and Shesh, Ananta Shesh. Anant means unending, his glory. He sings unending glories of the Supreme Lord. And also they come from expansion, like we have from Krishna comes Balramji, from Balramji comes this what is Vasudev? And
Sankarshan, Vasudev.
Sankarshan. From Sankarshan comes like this Chaturvyu, then for the material world, there is second Chaturvyu. From them that comes from Sankarshan comes Mahavishnu to Garbhodakshay Vishnu, to Shirodakshay Vishnu, and Shirodakshay expands as Ananta Shesh also.
Okay, thank you very much, Mataji, for that question.
They're all children of Kashyap Muni, Kashyap and Kadru.
Kadru. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you.
Okay, correct.
Hare Das Prabhuji, please go
Hare
ahead.
Krishna. Prabhuji, so thank you, Aditi Mataji. Samik Prabhu showed very nice class. Now this is about this Nala you were telling. No, there is one sloka my mother has taught when I was a child. Karkotakasya nagasya damayandya nalasya riduvarnasya radirusya kirtanam kalinashna. She has not told me the meaning, but I remember this Nala and Damayanti, they were husband wife or something, and at the time this Karkotaka has bitten or, and at the time if you remember that sloka and story, then in the Kali you will never suffer. So even now I am telling that, but I have not understood. Karkotakasya nagasya damayandya nalasya riduvarnasya radirusya kirtanam kalinashna. There is, when you told the name, the Karkotaka name came in the mind.
See, also I read there is somewhere there is in Mahabharata, Gacha Sarpa Maha Sarpa, and then you remember Takshak, that you remember all the Sarpas. If somebody is coming to bite you, then you chant this, that Janmejaya Yagyante, and then Janmejaya Yagyante, then one Rishi, then they remember that if you come, I don't remember all the full verse, but there is a verse given not in Bhagavatam, Mahabharata, that if you chant that, then Sarpa would not be able to bite you. And a snake, that you go away. Janma Jayasya Gyante, Astika Vachanam Ismara. Astik is the name of a Brahmana. Then he was asking all this, come and fall down on this. Astik was performing Janma Jayas Naga Yagya. Because when he heard Janma is the son of Parikshit Maharaj. when he heard that my father was bitten by Takshak now, then Takshak was took shelter of Indra and he would not go. He would not come to fall down on this fire. But all the other Nagas came and burned down. And then because that Astik was the Rishi who was performing, then he said that bring the Takshak along with the Indra. Then Indra was also falling down along with Takshak. And then somehow their father or Brahmaji or they came and they said that no, don't do this. This will disturb the whole system. So that's why the Takshak was saved. But there are so much powerful mantras that could bring even Indra or demigods and they could be killed instantly.
So these mantras will help. The Kalina Ashram, because my mother has taught, that's why I have come to Krishna consciousness. I take it that way. Because Kali remove the, and also one mantra is Karakare Vaste Lakshmi, Karamadde Saraswati, Karamulet Govinda, Prabhate Kadat. Even now I'm telling, because my mother has taught. So,
no, it's okay.
So in the hand itself, there is Lakshmi and Govinda and like that. All the three places.
Yeah. If you chant this mantra, yes.
When Mahamantra is chanted, nothing is required. Everything is included in that. There's no worry.
Yes, everything is included. So you don't have to remember all this. There was a question how we could remember at the time with the snake is in front of us. But if you practice it few times, that mantra will come to your mind. When you are afraid, then whatever is, then you may not know beforehand, but it will come to your mind. If you are pure in heart, it will come.
So one question about this Daksha, when he could see that his sons were actually went back home, back to Godhead, why he should think that Narada Muni has done a wrong thing? Because Narada Muni did a good thing because those children were so fortunate that they don't have to suffer all this, family life and all. They went back home, back to Godhead. So he didn't see from the positive angle, only negative angle he's thinking.
Yes, because he's a enjoyer, sense enjoyer. Daksha means he's expert in enjoying the material senses. He's very sexy. And he wants his children also to do the same thing. So he was not a devotee to teach them. Okay. He wanted to fill the earth with sex life and produce many, many children.
And Narada Muni also did not get annoyed. He took the curse, no? He said, good, okay, give the curse. He didn't react.
It's such an advanced personality that he does not mind all this. That was a boon for them. Any curse to a devotee, he takes it as a positively as a boon. That I'm a sannyasi, I don't have to stay more than 3 days anywhere, anyway.
Even Parikshit Maharaj could have reacted, that boy Shringi gave a curse that in 7 days.
Right.
He took it as a
could have
positive
removed, but he took it as a positive that let me just take it. This is the ordained by the Supreme Lord, and that's why the Srimad Bhagavatam that we are reading is because of that.
But is it all planned by Krishna? Because Arjuna also is a good pure devotee of Krishna and he's getting confused. So it is like that Krishna wanted him to just become forgetting everything and asking the question, and Krishna gave the whole Bhagavad Gita for all of us. Similarly, Parikshit Maharaj also is this sort of put the snake just for creating this situation so that...
Right. You cannot go ahead and kill directly to anybody. Krishna wanted to remove the burden, just like Sita was a Chaya Sita. So Lord Ram knew that. It was not a real Sita anyway. He put a real Sita to Agni Dev, and he was taking care of real Sita. But this Sita, but also he felt so much like she was so much feeling remorse, or whereas Sita, he was going on the forest to look for Sita. So these are all their leelas. But leela is also actual. They feel that way. Like Krishna feels that separation from Radharani. It's not that it is a movie like. It's like he's taking the role like this. Leela means it is actually happening with them, actually feeling separation, actually feeling, and they perform. For us, it is just by our karmas that is just pushing us to do certain things.
Prabhu, Ravana also, when Kumbhakarna died, Tupana wife was crying, and he gave a full Bhagavad Gita class. See, we are all soul, we are not body, we are not to worry about that. So he knows about Krishna, he knows everything he knows. but he's not applying in his life. He knows everything.
Yeah. Krishna wanted him to forget all that. Even Hiranyakashipu was telling all Bhagavatam when his son, his brother Hiranyaksha was killed. And he was also telling to his mother. But they are Jai Vijay, they are devotees anyway. But they do act so properly that they feel that way.
The Asuras means they know the rules, everything, but they don't apply. They think they are God. They know everything, but they are not going to apply. So in the material world also, if somebody learns, it's a Pandita waste, no use.
Ravan was a big Pandit. Even Lord Ram sent Lakshman to learn how to rule.
Okay, thank you, Sukrakara Prabhuji.
Thank you, Madam.
And realization. Hare Krishna, Prahlad Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mataji, and Dandavat Pranam to Samik Rishi Prabhuji. I have a little reflection about this part of Srimad Bhagavatam. When we, preach to common men, usually they ask such question like whether the hen is first or the egg is the first. That kind of question does come up. And, this part of Srimad Bhagavatam actually, explains how the species have come into the existence in material world. And these Prajapatis, they are actually, superb kind of mystic genetical engineers who can produce different species out of,
right. It is all done by Krishna and Krishna's plan. They are not genetically engineered or anything. They did not change genetically anything, but that is how plan of Krishna and that took place, that you have copulation and then some birds may come up, or some snakes may come up, some fish Timingala may come up, or whatever. So that is power given to Daksha Prajapati and his wives, and that they produce all the kinds of 8.4 billion species of life. That is all the time there. Now, today, I got some cows, they call it 9 cows I got today. So we could give milk, and to devotees, they have all kinds of milk preparations. They call it GF, HF species. And I found out that they are Indian cows, but they have like their semina comes from Holstein cows. That's why they call HF cows. But they give 35 liters of milk in a day. And so these things, species can be changed. It's not genetically engineered. It is just like somebody is there and they may have a relation with a demon or somebody, and they may produce a demon. A nice woman may produce a demon if that is there. So one has to watch whether the husband is a devotee from a good family, and so many things are there. But
thank you very much.
Haribol. But it's a good that what you are told, that when people ask, you just say that these are all Krishna's direct interventions, and he can make anybody produce anything, whether it is demons or birds or snakes, or can be produced in the woman. So that is our genealogy. But it's not that they did not change genetically.
Okay. Thank you, Adhan Prabhuji, for that reflection. And thank you, Maharaj, for that wonderful answer. Devotees, if anybody else has any realization, please go ahead.
One thing, Mataji, can I tell one thing? One thing.
Yes.
One thing I got from the Bhagavatam is, if the 3 things we learn, then we'll never get any false ego problem. That Krishna is a supreme controller and everything is sanctioned by him and nothing goes without his notice. His hand is in all the matters, whatever we're going through, good or bad. Second one, Krishna will never make a mistake in his life. We cannot say that he made a mistake. He's always perfect. And Krishna loves us more than we love ourselves, because we know us only for this life for 60 years, 64 years. I know only 64. But Krishna knows this soul for Janma Janmantar, 50 million lives. So these 3 things, if we understand, then we will never ever get annoyed or irritated by anything happening in our life. We'll know that he's a supreme controller and everything works with his hand, with his sanction. And Krishna never makes a mistakes and he loves us more than anybody else. So why you should worry about everything is correct. So we'll become very peaceful. I just wrote down because Prabhupada's lecture was there, so I thought I would share. Sorry for taking your time.
No, it's okay. Thank you so much for that realization, Prabhuji. And
Thank you.
does anybody else have any questions? Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Prabhu is not there?
Yeah, he's there. Samik Rishi Prabhuji, I think you muted yourself.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Krishna Shila Prabhu. Very, very beautiful class, Prabhuji, and very nice to know all about these names and who is who and who is born with whom. It's a very nice information, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. And Prabhuji, you were saying you got the cows today?
Yeah, today they have not come yet, but we will do there some Gau Puja and because there are some more and more devotees are coming, and so they could get enough milk, yogurt, butter, and we will fry everything in ghee because we will add paneer and so many things can be got from that because almost 250 liters of milk every day.
Hari Bol. Nice. Thank you. And do you, Prabhuji, let us know if there is any options for the Go Seva. We can forward it.
Sure, there is a lot of. If you could help us in taking care of these cows nicely.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, you are doing a service. So maybe some contributions from the devotee that helps also. Thank you so much.
Sure. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. I would like to see in the chat box, Raj Prabhuji has said, will be very difficult to remember this mantra when snake is in front of us. Thanks. Thanks,
Can
Ji.
you say Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Prabhuji?
Yeah, you could just chant a Maha Mantra. That's fine. One time my wife was giving on ice, completely the road was completely icy, just like a glass. And then there was a turning. I said, oh, you have to take an exit. Then she put the foot on the brake and car remained and she immediately started shouting, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. That car moved 3-4 times. There was so much traffic was going on, but even that turned so many times didn't. And then car just came and stopped at the exit. And then she continued driving. And I was amazed at how she could remember Krishna and she shouted the name of Krishna and he protected when so much traffic was, but car did not hit any another car and it remained. So it's
that is
always remember that incident.
Yeah.
That how
this is how Krishna saves us.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, he does.
Yes.
But he will come only if he shout. Draupadi did not shout, or he didn't come. When she really shouted, he came. So we have
to pray. Krishna see that whether in the time of this emergency, whether one remembers.
Remember.
Krishna.
Yes.
Right. Yes, Ajamil, even he does not remember Krishna, but some Narayan, his son, but still Krishna came. One pig was being born to alive, and then there was, but somehow she remembered and she shouted, Radhe, Radhe, because she was hearing, and then Radharani came and protected her.
Yeah.
So many incidences that Krishna protects his people who remember them. So it is our duty to remember him. That's why it is training to chant every minute or whatever best we can do. Then only at such emergencies or at the time of death, we will be able to remember Krishna. Or Krishna will come to make us remember. Even if we are unconscious.
Satatam kirtantam, chant 24 hours. Yes. The tongue should move.
Or serve Krishna. See, tongue may not be moving,
Yeah.
At least if you are working for Krishna, then it is still, see, Krishna is not just if you are acting for someone, so you know that you are working for Krishna. You are cleaning the temple, you are walking to the temple, you are looking at the deities, you are dressing the deities, you are distributing books for the deities. That is also kirtan. Sankirtan does not mean that you just stand together, but you have whatever you cook, you earn money, even you produce a child, but it is for Krishna's purpose that he may become like you do sanskar and that he may become Krishna's devotee. Then that's also a kind of kirtan.
Yat karosi ajas nasi. Everywhere you just
do it for Krishna. Yat tapasya konde tat kurusho madarpanam.
Madarpanam.
But also higher side. क्या है higher side से मेरा नाम?
Right.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected when he said that you do it everything because see, you may like to feed your child something, and okay, now let me offer to Krishna because you want to feed to birds. The desire has to be pure desire that it's how Krishna could be pleased. They are the steps to pure love.
Yes.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said it is external. Go ahead, tell more.
Very true, Prabhuji. You know, any kind of service with true heart, pure devotees can offer, you know, to get the mercy. I don't see any more hands raised.
Mataji, Prabhu, one thing I heard when Maharaj, Gopal Krishna Maharaj was going the flight and Japatak Maharaj was there. So he said, are you still offering? Are you still, for them, are they beyond the thing that they don't have to offer and they don't have to the Mahaprasad go in there, they don't have to tell, there's something like that. There was one conversation with two Maharajs. Are you still offering like that something? It was asked. So I want to know whether the sannyasis or pure devotees, they are beyond that offer or not offer or you're going in the train.
Let me just see, there is for those, they are always remembering the mind. If you just say out externally, one is a Raga Nuga Bhakta. See, people who become Avadhuta, they don't follow all the rules, the regulation is for the people who are new, who have not come to the Raga. Raga means attachment. When you go for the attachment, then at that level, you don't have to follow all rules and regulation, which is for the people who are on this this place, who are just beginners. Raga Naga Bhakti and with rules and regulation. Sadhana Bhakti. Sadhana Bhakti is, so you're practicing by some rules and regulations. But once you come to that level, you don't have to. And we should not really discuss these things to discuss who is right and who is wrong. And they are very advanced people. And we should not really comment. We have to be higher than them to comment or not to comment at all.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for the wonderful class once again, you know, and we look forward for your association. If devotees have no more questions, we can conclude the class today and thank Prabhuji for his, valuable time. And we look forward for your association again in future, Prabhuji.
Okay. Thank you so much for giving the opportunity and for your wonderful association.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Let us pay our obeisance to Prabhuji.
And thanks for people who are asking wonderful questions.
Radhe Radhe.